jump right in, and I want to talk about people, process, and technology. And when I think about that, I think about the analogy of how people discuss what's important to them in their life. And so you'll hear somebody say, well, number one to me is faith, and number two is family, and then health, and then hobbies. And usually the last thing that they talk about is their job. But then when you flip the equation and you say, hey, where do you spend most of your time? They say, well, number one, my job. So everything kind of splits into reverse. It's pretty ironic. And when we discuss people, process, technology in the business world, we get a similar flow. We have a tendency to speak in terms of tackling the CX challenge with better technology, AI, self-service. We're going to rearrange process. We're going to create a different workflow and customer journey. People seems to be the last one that people talk about. And Jill, your focus is all about people. I mean, your focus is all about people, culture, team development, employee journey. It's the other side of the coin. And I love this perspective and I love this drive. And this has been your career, right? So please share maybe your story, your truth, and your perspective as we juxtapose people, process, and technology.
100%. Thank you. First of all, I just want to say I'm super stoked to see that finally the EX, the employee experience, is in the same sentence with the customer experience and in the same mindset, the flow, the understanding that the two are truly intrinsically connected. They are inseparable.
Completely.
I came to this, just quick synopsis. It's my foundation. It's my entire being. It's hardwired in my DNA because I had the fortune of having parents and grandparents who were entrepreneurs. They opened McDonald's store number 150 back in 1959 when the corporation was just 4 years in the founding. And so truly, I grew up in this company that was developing its culture, which is responsible, along with consistency and of course, all the other things that go along with a successful franchise. But I really now am able to look backwards and have that hindsight to recognize the importance of, and the reason for it becoming the number one global hamburger franchise is because of the people aspect, because of what I experienced growing up. And throughout all of my years of working in the business, hearing, my father, just today, ironically, I got a Facebook message from someone I didn't even remember from my childhood. And she talked about, and she talked about my dad and his involvement, but also with a photo of the very first McDonald's in Columbus, Georgia on Macon Road. And all their memories associated. So I get this all the time now. And that's the key. It's the memories that we create through the people interactions, through that experience with the company culture, that here we are decades and decades later, and people are still rejoicing in those memories that they hold so near and dear. And that comes from the people interaction. It doesn't come from, they're not going to tell you about the technology, especially in those days, right? They're not talking about the process and those things, which of course have to happen, but what's created and burned into their visceral memory and bodily reaction to those things are because of the experiences that they had.
Mm-hmm. And that connection.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, that's powerful. And the fact that you recall all this, and that time period from that origination story of McDonald's, there was no technology really to speak of. So it really was process, and it really was people, and it was the experience of people engaging with people and building brand from that. And we're so technologically focused. I'm happily involved with that. So that's the core of my business. But because I've done so much in terms of business transformation early in my career, it became very obvious to me the impact of a good culture, a bad culture, good leadership, bad leadership, the power of the esprit de corps that comes from a team that knows what their mission is. It seems to me that was part of your origination story.
Yes, completely a part of my origination story. And I have very vivid memories of going to the McDonald's conventions over the years, early years, seeing Ray Kroc there. But over time, like always loving as a kid to experience and taste all the new products that were being presented. And I will forever remember, I can still literally see the machine as technology developed of the fry machines with the baskets in a way to improve upon the speed and the accuracy of filling those baskets, of dropping into the oil. And here, I saw the progress from when I was a little girl. McDonald's used to make their French fries from scratch, from the potatoes. So one of my jobs as a little girl was to wash those potatoes. I can still picture those stainless steel, huge, kitchen sinks and the water filling it up and scrubbing them. And then I used to love to watch the fries go down the chute, from the red and white tile benches that were created a part of the original stores. Or when I was inside, seeing that lever that would push down, you put the potato in, and I was little, I would push with all my might, all my bodily weight, to push that lever down and watch the potato become French fries go down the chute. So to then later see this process of these baskets and this line, the shiny silver baskets, and it would come around. But then I also remember very distinctly that one of the main things for quality of the product is long French fries. They don't want broken little pieces. And so I remember the discussion around these machines and how they would be filled to make sure that even now that they're going to a mechanical automated way of doing it, how to maintain that quality, how to make sure the fries don't get broken. It's like little stupid things like that, but they stuck with me,
Actually, in many respects, it's so not stupid. I have a very similar experience in my family's business. As my father, who was from England, had a British car repair shop, and how he would position the car for people to come and pick up the car, and how he would lay down a cover, on the fender, and the hood was up, and they would walk around the car, extolling the benefits of an open top experience. And everything about it was so curated and so perfect, but it was that kind of nuanced understanding of the details of that relationship that was powerful. You have that similar story. Is that where you started a path of saying, like, I want to be this proponent for the people inside the business and their relationship with the customer?
I didn't really think of it in that way. It was one of those things that evolved. When it's your own story, when it's your own experiences, I didn't think of it really in that way at all. And I've had multiple careers, multiple industries, across multiple countries and continents even. And it wasn't until I looked back that I was able to recognize that the common thread across, being fashion designer, food stylist, real estate agent, all these different things, the common thread that made so much sense was the people aspect and recognizing, that connection. So one of the things that I really love is Susan Pinker has a TED Talk where she talks about the number one indicator for longevity, long life, is human connection. And it's that conversation with someone at your coffee shop or your dry cleaner or your postal service, person. It doesn't matter, whatever it is, it's those human to human connections that actually touches on who we are as human beings. We all really crave that human connection, and therefore it does affect our longevity, which really was quite something when I heard that talk. And I think it just reinforces why this means so much to me, why I love it, and why I think it's so important, because we do crave that human connection. And I think more and more today, the more we've gone to technology, the presence of the AI world right now, whether it's kiosks or whatever it is, the lack of human interaction in businesses that provide speed and some other efficiencies, but you need more than that to have a thriving business that will allow you to scale, actually, by providing an experience. And we're seeing more and more with the advent of technology that businesses, in order to scale and thrive, they are looking for, where's the experience that we're offering our customers? Where's that experience that comes from a human to human interaction? So, I just think more and more that's going to show that the people piece shouldn't be the third tier of the process and technology trilogy, right? Like, I think we have to recognize that without the people, the process and the technology, you don't have anyone to do that process.
That's right. It's not a trilogy, it's a triumvirate. So I think that this might be a good segue, but also just to kind of cap that a little bit. I mean, you've got the kind of antithetical approach of companies like Zappos, who encouraged their customer representatives to engage in conversations that were far afield of the subject of shoes.
Right.
And so when you watch any type of documentary on that, it flies in the face again of first contact resolution in terms of, how much time, average action is taking. Like, it literally is antithetical.